And I realize that people are trying to send away Jaylen Brown in trades. I don't think they should. I don't think they should send out Jayson Tatum either. And I've been adamant about that. Everything else on that roster could go as far as I'm concerned.
The other team that was on your list that caught my eye more, we talked about them recently because of the Tim Bontemps article, but you had the Boston Celtics out there.
I mean, we've gone through them, right? I mean, what are they? At this point, what are they? They are the two Jays, and what else? I would argue that's all they have at this point that is locked in as players who should be retained. And I realize that people are trying to send away Jaylen Brown in trades. I don't think they should. I don't think they should send out Jayson Tatum either. And I've been adamant about that. Everything else on that roster could go as far as I'm concerned. So they have two pathways here. The one is find guys who are established, but in the same age bracket as a Jayson Tatum and a Jaylen Brown. Coincidentally, you brought up Miles Turner. He'd be a candidate, or even a Domantas Sabonis instead, if like either or, because both of them are 25. That is in line with Jayson and Jaylen. Or you say, screw it. We go all in right now. We're trading away Robert Williams. We're trading away Josh Richardson for whatever value he has. Grant Williams, Romeo Langford, whatever. Draft picks. Whatever we have. Just ship it away for veterans, and we go all in right now. I don't like option 2. I like option 1 better. I think they need to have a long-term window. But how do they get that? What do they send away? You're thinking of something. I can see it in your eyes. What are you thinking of?
I don't think this is more just a chaos idea than I think this would actually happen. But
yeah,
they wanted a playmaker, right?
Yeah. Oh no, Russ.
Let's talk about Russell Westbrook. Yeah, Russ for Horford would be the salary match, even though Horford has played well for them. But you signed Robert Williams to that deal, and then Horford and Josh Richardson for Westbrook and every pick under the sun that the Lakers still have left.
Oh boy, Brian.
Again, that's mostly just for the chaos of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is vile.
Yeah.
That is vile. Could you imagine like the two Jays have it going and double teams start swarming and they send it out to Russ for spot up threes? That would be the ugliest thing ever.
Oh, it'd be so good.
You know who they should really go after? And I realized he's not available because the Pelicans got him this summer.
Devontae?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I know he's not a good defender. I get that. Offensively, he's right. He's exactly what they need. He's a pass-first point guard who can hit spot-up threes.
It's like all he does.
It is literally all he does.
Right.
But that's what they need.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're right. There's still huge questions other than Brown and Tatum. And, again, Horford has played well for them this year. I don't want to take anything away from him, but he's 30 in his age 35 season. Like, you're not building around Al Horford long term when you have Jayson
he's my
Tatum.
age. Thank you, Brian. Yeah.
Well, Jayson Tatum is 23. Jaylen Brown he just turned 25.
Jayson Tatum is 19. Please and thank you.
Right, 19 going on 24 in March. But these guys are still young enough that you have to think about their long-term window as well. So I do think if there is a Horford deal out there, they should consider it, mostly so I can see Anna Horford meltdown on Twitter. They signed Richardson, Williams, and Smart to these extensions back in the offseason. So I don't know. This is another team kind of like the Pelicans where I would think we'll probably see bigger changes next summer versus during this season, because Horford will then be heading into the final year of his deal and only, I used to know this off my own child's name. 14.5 million of the 26.5 is guaranteed. So he will be a lot more movable in the summer, unless they want to trade him now for Russell Westbrook. Schroeder's going to be a free agent, and I'm guessing he's going to be out of their price range. So,
he's elsewhere.
Yeah, that would be. No, I still God. I was gonna say Horford and Schroeder, send him back to the Lakers, but I don't think that's enough salary for us. I think they would have to send more.
I don't know why you're so hooked up on that deal. You just want
Yes, you do.
Yeah, you because you hate Boston and you're
right. I want nothing but terrible things for that team, and I think Russell Westbrook would have a similar effect as he is having on the Lakers right now. And
the objective analysis of Bryan Toporek, everyone.
I love Russ, you know this, but he's like flipped from you could live with the negatives because of the positives.
Right.
We're no longer there. The negatives are outweighing the positives by a substantial margin at this point. Like you cannot have a team with Russell Westbrook on that kind of a contract. And this is like the Tobias Harris discussion earlier too, right? Like if Russ was earning half of this money, or if Russ was on a Schroeder contract, then who gives a damn? Because it's not going to be that destructive to your team. You're going to have the ability to build around him with other guys too, but Russ on a $47 million contract just hamstrings you so much. With him, AD, and LeBron all in those deals, those guys take up close to 120 million in cap space. Like that is your cap space. You will not have cap space with him on that type of a contract. You're only going to have minimum deals at a mid-level instead of. If the Lakers had 20 or 30 million in cap space to play with, plus the room exception, then maybe they could have built a more fleshed out roster and not had to rely on a bunch of guys who are probably going to be playing in the big three in 2 years.
No, but okay. So let's look at realistic options for the Celtics, right? Again, I'm going back to my two options here of going win now and going with guys who are on a similar timeline as the two Jays.
Yeah.
Assuming win now, and assuming the Kings are willing to just pivot into a full-on rebuild.
Ooh.
What would it take to get both Buddy Hield and Richaun Holmes?
Oh my gosh. That's not. I thought you were going to go De'Aaron Fox.
No.
Interesting. Okay. Buddy. See, I mean, this is the problem for Boston, though. Like,
yeah,
especially with all of these guys restricted because of the extensions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the problem for any team. Like, if you're dealing with the Pelicans, like every team, if you're the Pelicans calling up another team, they're like, all right, cool, we want Zion or Brandon Ingram. Like any team dealing with the Celtics as trade, their starting point is going to be Tatum or Brown, and then Brad Stevens is going to hang up. He'll go say F yourself in a very polite way and then hang up. But like, I don't know if a lot of these other guys have a ton of trade value. Like I'm sure Marcus Smart teams would be interested in, but he like Romeo Langford.
Not. See, that's the problem with me as well, because if you're Sacramento and you're trading away Holmes and Hield, you're rebuilding. You're going into saying, okay, we're building around De'Aaron Fox now. So we want draft picks. We want young guys on rookie contracts. We don't want a Marcus Smart.
Right.
Or an Al Horford.
Yeah, like again, I mean, Rob Williams can't be traded until July of next year. Like he would be a guy to target, especially if you're giving up Holmes. But I mean, him, Neesmith, and like, how do you make the salaries match too?
Well, so what's the partial guarantee on Horford, or is it completely non-guaranteed for
14.5 million guaranteed next offseason?
So you could maybe get away with that and just swallow the money next year.
Yeah, especially if Boston's willing to give up picks.
Right.
You're thinking like Horford, Williams, picks, and then like Naismith or Pritchard as well.
Yeah, maybe not even Robert Williams. Maybe just because the poison pill issue. But like you said, if it can get worked out. So
I see. This. Okay, I got you. So you're saying that like between now and the trade deadline, because then Horford counts as $27 million this year.
Yeah, that's
but then okay, I got you. Yeah. Then Horford.
It would be Horford. It would be Nesmith. It would probably be Grant Williams. Like, I almost want to tell the Kings, take your pick of the young guys.
Yeah, I was trying to think of, because Hield's at like 20-ish million, and then Holmes should be pretty cheap. I think he's only at 10 or so, right? Yeah, he's at 10. So okay, Hield's at 23.1, Holmes is at 10.3. So you're looking at 33.4 million, and yeah, Horford's at 27. So that throw in anyone else, since salaries will not be an issue.
Right. So let's say it's Horford, it's Aaron Nesmith, it's Grant Williams, and here comes the kicker, it's picks, because those guys are not attractive. Like, you take a flyer on Nesmith and Grant, but it's the draft picks. It's all about the draft picks. Is there any viability in that trade? Is that a logical trade? I mean, is it feasible?
For Boston, it should be.
I'm thinking for both sides. Like, for Boston, I'm thinking this is a slam dunk, because you get an elite floor spreader who's finally going to start, who's not going to get jerked around the lineup anymore. Like, he's going to be a full-time starter. You have Rashawn, who's one of the most underappreciated centers in the entire NBA. He's going to get in and play as many minutes as he'll like, and then you can pivot away from Robert Williams next summer or whatever. Maybe for a point guard, because that's what you'll still be needing, and then you can pivot away from Marcus Smart as well. But I'm just thinking, if you get a 4-man core at the very least of Hield, Brown, Tatum, and Holmes, that's not bad, right? I mean,
no, that's good. Like, I would hope Sacramento could do better than Horford, who does nothing for them after this year, and then some flyers on young guys who hopefully they pan out, but if they're going to Sacramento, they probably won't.
Right. And then the draft picks, that's the issue, right? Because they're not going to be high draft picks.
Right.
Presumably. So,
the Kings are going to screw them up if they, regardless.
Yeah. No, but I mean, look, even if they do send picks, I mean, they would have to be totally unprotected.
Yeah. Yeah. Or like top 3 protected, top 1 protected. Right. Yeah. Like super no lottery protection, no top 10.
Yeah, no, nothing like that. Like real draft picks.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Celtics should definitely be interested in something like that, and they should be sniffing around for that type of thing. I don't know that the Kings should be interested. They should do better.
Yeah, like they can deal with Charlotte alone for Holmes and probably get Boot Knight and stuff.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Well, see, and this is why Boston's on the list, because if they if they can't even get a Buddy Hield and a Rashawn Holmes, like, then they need to reevaluate, because that roster alongside the 2 Jays are just not working.
And they don't have Danny Ainge anymore to leak all of the trades they almost completed. So then it's just going to seem like they're sitting on their asses all day, not doing anything. Yeah, it's an interesting point. Like, you're right. They've got the 2 centerpieces. Like, disregard the Bontemps, any reported tension between them. But, like, assume all is hunky-dory with those 2 guys. You're going to keep building around them. It is the question of, okay, what is the rest here? How do we make this make sense? And you're right. I think Horford probably is the key if you're able to flip him this year. But yeah, I think they're just going to ride out this year and then see what happens next summer when they have more flexibility to trade the guys who they signed to extensions. Plus, Horford's only partially guaranteed. But you can also make the argument, like right now, especially with Brook Lopez having undergone back surgery, and we don't know if or when he's going to return. Ben Simmons saga is still lingering. That could go all year. Kyrie saga is lingering. That could go all year. Like, right now, there isn't a team in the East that is so overwhelmingly favored to win the title because of all of these issues. Like, this feels like the year to get frisky and start making some moves. So maybe that incentivizes Boston or any other of these teams to be like, all right, the window's actually open here. Like, there's not a Kevin Durant, Steph Curry Warriors or the Miami Heatles. It's like, why even bother?
But can they be buyers? Do they have enough to be buyers?
Yeah, I'm skeptical that they don't.
Right.
But I don't know, it only takes one team, right?
Like, it does. But
Richardson can be traded in January. So Williams can't be traded. Richardson can be traded in January. And then Smart.
But who wants Josh Richardson? Like, let's be honest, who wants him?
Smart can be traded in January 25th as well.
Right.
So Williams is the only one who will not be eligible to be traded by the deadline.
Right, Robert Williams, because Grant Williams is.
Yeah, Robert Williams. Yeah, Grant Williams. Who cares? Who cares about Grant Williams?
No, well, Grant Williams is better this year. Like, let's be fair.
I know. But if that's the hang up on any deal, I will not believe that Danny Ainge is not still working for that team in some capacity.
Yeah, and that really is the issue here. When you look at that roster, you just go, ugh. Like, outside the two J's. There's just...
Yeah.
Like, you brought it up, like, Josh Richardson. Who the hell wants Josh Richardson? Who's out there? Is there a team out there that's going, you know what we really need? We need Josh Richardson. Like, that's our guy. Like, no, that's not happening. Even Marcus Smart right now, Marcus Smart is earning so much money now that you're making kind of the calculation in your head going, he's a fantastic defensive player, but is he worth that kind of coin?
Josh Richardson, the next team to acquire him, it'll be like the Arrested Development meme, where it's like, well, this has never worked for anyone else, but maybe it'll work for us.
Yeah. I feel Russell Westbrook is the owner of that.
Yeah.
But
it's a fair point.
No, I think it's rough because Marcus Smart was such a, for a long time, viewed as this, Celtic forever kind of player.
Right.
I think that ship has sailed.
Interesting.
I'm not saying like because of chemistry issues or anything. Like, he got the extension and all that, but like he takes up a fairly significant percentage of their cap long term.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they will have to move him at some point. Like, he's not moving the needle much.
Yeah. It's a fair point.
And also, can we talk about how his defense, while still great and all that, it's not as explosive as it used to be?
Oh boy.
No, but it's
Lakers and Celtics fans on the same episode? Are you trying to channel me?
Dude, can we agree on that?
Yeah, I mean, I own, like, if I'm filling out my first team all defense ballot, I don't know if he's making it on there.
Right. And that's what you're paying him for.
Yeah, and that's the standard that you were holding him to prior to this year. So,
right.
Like, even if it's, he's not a bad defender. You're not saying that.
No.
But,
no.
Yeah, it's like maybe he lost like half a letter grade in his defense. I could see that.
Right. And that's kind of what I'm going at here is he's going to be 28. He was a guy who played a lot off of energy as well. And it's the same thing that we talked about with Joakim Noah and stuff like those type of guys. Like, when the energy starts to fall a little bit, you become a bit more complacent. You're not going to be as effective as you were before. Now he's starting to call out his teammates a little bit, which I actually respect. He wasn't wrong. That's not the issue. But that's not going to endear him to those teammates. That's going to be a thing. The salary, I don't know. It just seems like it's the perfect storm for the Celtics now to make the argument that, okay, like, maybe we have some options in the offseason. Now it's time.